Welcome to Michael's Record Collection. I'm very happy to welcome back to the show the legendary drummer Carmine Appice. Carmine, welcome back.
Thank you. Well, you got a nice microphone there set up.
Yeah,
Very,
I don't
very
know if
professional looking.
I don't know if I had this last time we talked, but
I don't remember that,
sounds a
but
little better.
that's a nice setup.
We're here to talk a little bit about Vanilla Fudge, the new Vanilla Zeppelin album that was released on September 30th through Golden Robot Records. Now, Carmine, is this a digital only release or is there physical product planned?
I don't really know.
Okay.
We
Well,
I'm not sure because we gave it to Golden Robot before the COVID thing, and
oh
uh,
wow.
and I really don't like the name. Tell you the truth, Vanilla Zeppelin. It's could have come up with something better. We used to call it Out Through the Indoor.
Mm-hmm.
It was released in 2005 or six, something like that, or seven maybe, and it was on a label that went out of business when it came out.
Okay.
So we recorded it with the original band, analog, back in those days. We mixed it, and it came out great. And then we had no label, so we just used to sell it at our gigs.
Mm-hmm.
We made it up at our gigs, and then just before COVID, we gave this, and we were going to do another record called, that's probably where they got it, to come Supreme Fudge, we were going to call it. And we were going to do five or six Supreme songs, and the rest a couple other R&B, and then maybe a couple originals. But that never happened because of COVID. We did get Stop in the Name of Love out with Tim on it, with four original members.
Mm-hmm.
And but then COVID hit, and that was the end of that. And I got a studio. I moved to Florida. I had my own studio, so I had to redo the drums, which I did. And then we released that, I guess, last year with a video. And
Right.
but it's very hard to come up successful with an old band. I mean, none of the old bands sell what they used to sell.
Mm-hmm.
Even Rod. I went to see Rod in January, and he had a new song out, got 1 million views on YouTube, which really don't mean nothing anymore.
No.
And he said, you know what, I have a new album out, but nobody has. He said something like, nobody hears it, nobody knows the song, so we're just going to play the hits tonight. And the whole audience cheered, and that's all they did. They played the hits. So it's the same thing with everybody. With us, it's a little different with Vanilla Fudge. When we have a new song, it's usually a rearrangement of another song, so people know the song and they get to see what we've done to the song, like this album,
Yeah.
and Stop in the Name of Love. The songs don't really come alive until you play them live. It was like that with all our songs on the first album, every album, So the song Stop in the Name of Love, we play live. And when we finish the song, people cheer because
Sure.
they see what we've done to it.
Yeah.
And we do Dazed and Confused into Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You from the Zeppelin album, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, live. And again, that came up really, better by playing it live because now we changed it again from the arrangement we have on the actual album. Because we do Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You in the middle, and we change it to like more of a shuffle. Instead of going doom, 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 we go doom, 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 da da da, doom, 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 like that,
Mm-hmm.
like a jazzy thing, And then Mark sings it a little more jazzy. Then
Yeah.
we go into the bam, 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 and then back to the jazzy thing. So it makes it a little different. And
Yeah.
then we go into Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You, and then we go into the solo from Dazed and Confused after it. But when we finish that song, same reaction. People flip out
Yeah.
because they know the song and they can see what you're doing to it. Versus if you do a new song they don't know, you'll get a nice applause, but
Yeah.
not until they really know it will they go crazy over it.
Yeah. And these songs obviously are very well known. They just don't know what you guys are going to do to them because
Right, exactly.
whenever you guys give it the vanilla fudge treatment, you put your own stamp on it. And
We do.
so you've cleared up one of the questions I had. So this release is essentially a remastered version of Out Through the Indoor that you guys released in 2007.
Right. And I haven't heard the remastering. So they did it all not on a slide, but we started releasing singles. On the first one was an immigrant song, I think, and they did like little videos to go with it. I think we helped them with that first video, and when we did the Stop in the Name of Love, we did a whole video. We had my guy do the video and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what we did on the Zeppelin one. I have to look on the immigrant song, but and then they released another one, no video, another one, no video, and another one, no video. And then I was doing an interview like this, and somebody said, "So, what do you think of the Vanilla Zeppelin album?" I said, "The what?" Because we didn't even know it was coming out, because
no.
the manager that put that together, we actually changed managers, so I don't even think he knew, to tell you the truth.
Carmine, there shouldn't be any surprises when the band puts out a release, should there?
Well, this wasn't really but this was part of a deal that was part of a deal.
Oh, I got you.
The deal was that the Supreme Fudge album was going to be a whole deal with a new advance, a new budget and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know who asked or who mentioned the Zeppelin album, and they gave it to them for, pennies, really, just to get somebody to release it because it wasn't released.
All right.
And then because they didn't have the Supreme Fudge album, they started putting this out.
Okay.
I guess.
The last time I talked to you, I know that they had just re-released Pink Floyd's Momentary Lapse of Reason, but you hadn't heard the new mix that they did. Have you heard it since then?
Oh, you mean Cleopatra?
Whoever put out
the original one?
Mm-hmm.
I have not heard it.
No, they haven't given you a copy yet.
Nah, I mean, nobody's in touch with anybody anymore.
Oh.
I mean, it's a shame, but everybody that like Pink Floyd guys they're in their own world now.
Yeah.
It's like we're doing a BBA live into London Rainbow next year, brand new, never released, and 7 new songs. Plus, it's a 50th anniversary, like box set kind of thing. It's going to be that one and Live in Japan in one package.
Oh, okay.
There might be a couple of bonus tracks. I'm not sure what they are. We're working with Rhino, who's going to release it, and my manager is working with Jeff's manager. And my manager represents me and Tim's estate. And I heard it. I mixed it with Jeff's engineer. So it's pretty cool. A pretty cool record. This is the last record you'll hear Jeff rocking. They're playing rock, not the jazz rock he's doing now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, playing all out trio, kick ass rock. He's great now. I just saw a video of him last year at the Crossroads Festival. He's freaking amazing. Nobody experiments with the guitar like him.
Yeah,
he's great. Like I experimented with drums and drum sounds and drums, sizes of drums and cymbals, and helped develop and pioneered the drums, with Ludwig Drum Company and all that, and he's still doing it, and he's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm experimenting with music, and I'm doing a storytelling show. I'm just starting up, and it's funny. I just did a record. I did my first record last year. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called Appice Perdomo Project.
Mm-hmm.
It's an instrumental album. Have you heard that? Or
yeah.
Know about it? Okay, so we did a rock, not jazz rock, more of a rock jazz instrumental version, reggae version of "Do You Think I'm Sexy?" And then we did another version, like a heavy instrumental rock version of "Maybe I'm Amazed" with gospel backgrounds. So this time we redid that Kate Bush song that's so big now.
Oh, Running Up the Hill.
Yeah, we redid it instrumentally and made it really heavy rock, not heavy metal like Metallica.
Yeah,
heavy hard rock instrumental version. That's really, really cool. We're doing a video for it Monday. It's on Cleopatra Records, and we have a volume 2 of that album. I don't know what we'll call it. Maybe we'll call it Running Up the Hill. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, and it's really, really good. And we got a song called Drum City. We got a song called biker gang, and really, really cool songs, really cool titles. One's called Fu Manchu, you know,
Okay.
and very, like the other album, some time signatures, but very well done melodically. His melodies, his hooks, melody hooks. We got great players on it. We got Tony Franklin on the track. We got Jimmy Haslip,
Oh, nice.
Yellow Jacks on 2 tracks. We got Billy Sheehan on the track. We got Derek Sherinian on the track, and we got Bumblefull on the track.
Wow.
The last time we didn't have any guests. We just had Derek. But
Yeah.
this time the label said, why don't you get some of your friends to play on it? So we did it. And my buddy Pat Regan's mixing it. And he's awesome. We just finished a King Cobra record with Pat also. And we shot my part of the video last Tuesday. And that's going to be coming out this year also. So I'm still, busy doing things.
You are very busy.
Right. And I'm trying to do new things,
Yeah.
Like the King Cobra record is more like Led Zeppelin meets King Cobra. So I got this studio in my house. I can create that Andy Johns, Carmine Led Zeppelin sound, like the Hot Legs drum sound, and I'm doing a lot of experimenting in there. And with Fernando, my partner, we got some really wild musical things going on. It's really cool. It's not jazz rock. It's more like rock jazz. It's more of a rock. A lot of the bands, even like Blow by Blow is more like a jazz rock, those kind of albums with jazz rock. This is more of a rock jazz. It's the overtones of rock, but there's some jazzy things in there.
Yeah.
Like the time signals, progressive rock, basically.
Okay.
And but instrumental. It's really cool.
I recently talked to Arthur Brown. I had Arthur Brown on the show, and he just released, in fact, as we record this, it came out today, his album Monsters Ball with a re-recording of Fire that you played on.
That's right. With Brian Auger.
Yeah. How did that whole thing come about with Arthur and you?
Well, I'm working the Cleopatra Records is a label that's been around since '92. I know the owner when he first started it. And one of the first records he did in like 94, 95 was my King Cobra, The Lost Years. I know him for a long, long time. We did a bunch of stuff with him. We did the Travis Appice re-release. We did Spirit of '67 with the Fudge. I did a bunch of all those tribute albums he used to do in the '80s and '90s. So he called me up and said, "Look, I know you got your studio. We're going to do something with redo Fire with Arthur Brown. I'd love for you to play on it." I said, "Sure, man." Anything a year ago when I first got my studio, or 2 years ago, that I can do, I did, because I needed to learn how to work it more. Become an engineer. Now I'm the engineer of my own drum sound. So I did that track, and I played to whoever was on it at the time. And then Brian said, the owner said, "We're putting Brian Auger on the track." I said, "Oh, really cool." I never even met Arthur Brown of late. I met him back in the day, the old days, in '67, '68. But then when I heard the finished product, I said, he still sounds the same.
Yes, he does.
And I really loved what we did with Brian and everything on it. I really loved it. I thought it sounded great.
Yeah. Now when the Fudge originally came out, did you guys play the UFO Club? No, never played there.
Where was the UFO Club?
So in London, it was.
We played the Speakeasy.
Okay.
That was when we came up. That was the big club. Everybody was there when we played there. From the Stones, Jeff Beck, and the Yardbirds, and the Who, and all the groups that were big in that time. They were at the Speakeasy at that time because they all loved that first album. They all loved it.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about this Vanilla Zeppelin original lineup: Mark Stein, Vince Martell, yourself, and Tim Bogert, and
the late Tim Bogert.
The late Tim Bogert, yes, yeah. Late great. Given the Zeppelin catalog, when you guys were putting this together originally, how did you choose which songs you were going to do, and did you record some others that didn't make the album, or no?
No, we pretty much recorded everything and used it all. I don't really remember the process. It was just like songs that we liked, songs that Mark thought he could sing great, because, with Robert Plant's vocals so different, you had to have songs that Mark would sing good, and Vinny sang one song. I sang a song or two, you
Hmm.
know, and I think I sang "Trampled Underfoot."
Yep.
Yeah, and another one. I forget the other one.
You did
Days,
Dancing Days, yeah.
Dancing Days. Yeah,
And then
and
Vince did Rock and Roll.
right, Vince did rock and roll. He did different phrasing on rock and roll, and I never understood the intro of rock and roll that John did, you know, but a lot of people do, but I never did, so I just did it my own way, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, there was no real magic in what we did, or what we just songs we liked and songs we thought we could sing well.
Okay.
There's no use in doing a song if it ain't being sung well, you know.
Hmm. Yeah. You
We
guys
didn't
did.
we didn't do Stairway to Heaven because we thought that song was so big at the time that we didn't want to touch it. And it was already, you couldn't do much to it because they already did like a Vanilla Fudge version of it, you know?
Hmm.
It was a build up and, you know, crescendos and dynamics and, you know, and by the end it was all big, you know, that's what we used to do. So
Yeah.
we thought they already did that, so why even bother that, you know?
Yeah. These 12 songs cover all of the Zeppelin studio albums except for the Presence album. Was there just not anything on that album that interested you guys?
We didn't even view it like that.
Oh yeah.
You're the second one I did today that said that. Was that something that they wrote as the record company put out?
No, no, it's
Oh,
curious when you start to look at these, like
oh,
you did four of them off the first Zeppelin album, and then there
right.
were a couple that you did two from, and then one from a couple other albums. So it just stuck out because it was the only one that was missing.
Yeah, well, we didn't really think of it like that. We just did it, you know.
Hmm.
But you're the second one of I did. You're my fourth, so two of the four said the same thing.
Yeah. He probably asked you this question before too. When you're approaching these songs, how much of it is you wanting to bring your own flavor to the songs, and how much of it is wanting to pay tribute to John Bonham?
Well, my style, you know, was influential on John's style, so the way I would play something would be similar in feel. You know, so you had the same kind of feel. So I just did whatever, you know, tried to play tribute sometimes and play my own stuff. Like when we did Moby Dick.
Hmm.
I mean, I did my own solo.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to try and imitate his solo. You know, I think I even played it a little different leading up to it. You know, and there was a tribute we did on one of those Bonzo bashes. It's on YouTube. It's got, I don't know, close to a couple of million views, where I did Black Dog. So I was like Black Dog. I don't know if we did Black Dog. We didn't do Black Dog, right?
Not on the record, no.
Yeah, on the record, we should have. I really loved that one. And I did it and I played it my own way, you know? And, you know, all those comments would go, oh, he didn't even play it like Bonzo. I mean, come on, dude, you know?
If you want to hear that, you can always go back and listen to the
Yeah,
original.
I mean, I don't want to, I've never done that. I can't even remember what I did on a record. You know, when I do a video, I have to like the other day we did the King Cobra video. I had some really cool drum fills on it. I don't remember what I did. I just play what I feel, you
Yeah.
know? So when it comes to doing a video, I play the song, and if I hear the fill go by, I play it the next time in the same place so the videographer can get me playing the fill once I hear what I did. And some of it, I had to work out what I did. And then I did another version really soft, and I just did the fill, you know? So the worst thing, the least thing I'm going to do is try and play note for note what Bonzo played, you know? But I
Yeah.
played it, I thought I played it really well, you know?
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun with it. The audience that was there liked it. And you only get these idiots on YouTube. You know, same thing when you get something in Blabbermouth. You know, you ever read the comments in Blabbermouth? Most of them are negative. You know?
Yeah, I have trouble with Blabbermouth because they're very clickbaity, you know. They want to get your clicks, so they a lot of times they sensationalize the headline to get you to click on it, and then it's not really
Yeah,
about that or whatever. So
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
so the out of these 12 songs, I feel like, first of all, it was interesting that Golden Robot changed the running order from out through the indoor. There's three songs that are still in the same position that they were, but they moved You guys did have Immigrant Song first. They put rock and roll first, which kind of makes some sense because rock and roll is it's really well known and it's upbeat and
Yeah.
up tempo and to get you going. Um, so you guys didn't really have any say in obviously in the track listing or anything because
We
you didn't
knew
even know it was
nothing.
coming out.
We knew nothing. I'm very surprised that, but again, we changed the manager, so we knew. You know, the manager might have been contacted, and he just, you know, like him. It's usually, I think, if they would have contacted him, he would have contacted us, but I don't think they did.
Yeah.
I think they just did their own thing. And like I said, they didn't pay a lot of money for it. So, I mean, if they sell a certain amount, we should actually see royalties because they didn't pay a lot of money for this. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the original label that put it out, they paid a good advance, which included a budget to do it analog, you know, with flying people to LA, hotels, and, you know, recording studio. We're in the studio 2 or 3 weeks, then mastering it and mixing it. You know, there was a decent budget, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
they just got you know, the finished product and paid peanuts for it, you know.
Yeah. When you guys did these covers and Vince got to sing rock and roll and you did a couple vocals, were there discussions there that maybe Mark just didn't want to sing those songs, or did you ask to sing those
No,
songs, or how did that?
we always, in all our records, we always split the vocals around.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Tim sang anything. I think he chose not to, you
Yeah.
know. But you know, we always would throw vocals around. If you look at any of our albums, I sang "People Get Ready" on the first album. I sang "Faceless People" and on the third album. In the fourth album, me and Mark sang "Where Is Happiness" together. You know, and so we always kind of threw the vocals around, and Tim sang one, Vinny sang one. Mark sang most of them
Yeah.
because he's got an amazing voice. Even at his age, he's still singing like that.
Yeah.
I can't. You hear my voice is all scratchy. You know, I don't know if it's age or if it's, you know, reflux or whatever it is, but I can't hit the high notes like I used to hit.
Yeah. I noticed on the vanillafudge.com that you have a couple of dates this fall in Harrisburg and I think Long Island. Are you guys trying to get more live shows?
Well, we've always played dates since 2001, you know, and then 2005 with the original band, and then, you know, we had the original band, and Tim wanted to leave. He didn't want to go on the road no more. We got this guy Pete, he's been with us 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So we've always done shows. We've done Hippie Fest, we've done cruises, we've done all that. So it's not about trying to get more dates. We, you know, always trying to do shows because we love to play.
Yeah.
You know, the Harrisburg date is out, by the way.
Oh, is it?
It should be. We told them to take it off the website.
Okay.
The date with the Rascals is on November 13th, and then we got dates into 2023. But you know, we don't do big tours anymore because nobody wants to do a big tour anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and nobody wants to sit in a bus. You know, and we want to go out, do 3 days in close ratio. We sit in a splinter van and we drive to the gig, 150 miles, 200 miles. We're in it for 3 or 4 hours, and we do the gig.
Yeah.
And we go to hotel, do it the next day, and third day, fourth day, we go home. You know, and then 2 weekends later, we do the same thing. You know, it's not about doing these, you know, like friends with Iron Maiden with Nico. He left his house in Florida in April. He's coming home next week. He's been on tour the whole time, rehearsing and on tour. We're too old for that. You know? Talked to Mick Mars, who's been touring with Motley Crue. He just gave up his seat in touring with Motley Crue. And John Five's going to tour with them. He said, man, we did our final tours last year. You know, so now we're out again doing this major tour with Def Leppard. And he said, I don't want to do it no more. He says, I'm sick of being in the bus. You know?
I can't blame
He
him.
said, I want to go out, and he's going to do a solo album and go out and do some, you know, gigs. I said, look, if you need anyone to play drums, I'll play with you. He goes, oh, that would be great. So maybe I'll do some gigs with him, but that's not going to be like big tours.
Yeah.
Maybe a weekend, maybe somewhere, and then go home. You know, and 2 weeks later, maybe a weekend and go home. You know, and quite honestly, I'm trying to fit everything in. I got King Cobra now. I got these speaking gigs, storytelling gigs.
Mm-hmm.
I got, I'm putting together my Rod Experience thing because I went to see Rod in January, and I noticed out of his whole set, I was involved in 8 of the 12 songs. And I see everybody getting off on it. I said, man, I should be playing these songs. I did it a few years ago, and I went to China with it, to Macau. I went to different gigs. I had a guy that looks like Rod. I had a few members of the Rod Stewart band that were in it. And all those members, one of them passed away. One of them can't go on the road. The other one can't go on the road. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to get some guys together around where I live and keep the singer and put together a new sizzle reel and go out and try and do this again, because I want to play these bands. Now tribute bands are so big.
Yeah.
You
Were you
know,
also doing Cactus shows?
we're going to do a few Cactus shows. This year we did Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, my brother, and some clinics, you know, and that's pretty good because considering the COVID situation, you know.
Yeah.
But, you know, I want to keep playing until I can't play anymore, you know.
Sure.
That's the idea. Whether it's making millions of dollars or just thousands of dollars, you know, all the big money for me in my career has been made, you know. And now I have a nice lifestyle where I live. And I'm in New York now. We have a place in New York and a place in Florida. And I do real estate on the side. I like that. You know, I got some cool cars. I drive cars. And, you know, I got a good lifestyle. My kids are doing good. My daughter's a special effects makeup artist.
Nice.
She was just up for an Emmy nomination, and she did Star Trek Picard this year.
Okay.
And we all went to the Emmys. That was interesting. My son is medical. He's doing great. So, you know, my family's doing great. My brother's still doing great. And, you know, I'm a happy guy.
Yeah.
You know?
You look relaxed. I mean, you looked relaxed I think last year when I talked to you, you were at your Florida home.
Yeah. And, you know, I got the studio there. I could just walk through studio and work on, like, you know, the way that running up the hill came. I was managing this group called Kodiak for a couple of years. And they broke up, but the 2 brothers, a guitar player and a drummer. And I called the father. I said, how are they doing? He says, you know, we just got hundreds of thousands of hits. They redid the theme song for Stranger Days. I said, no kidding. So, of course, anytime something like that happens, a light goes off in my head. You know, how could we take advantage of something like that? So then I started hearing about this Kate Bush song that came off that episode. I'm watching the show now, and I see it's in there quite a bit. I see why it's got the attention.
Yeah.
So I looked at the charts. I got a Billboard magazine because we did an ad for Cleopatra Records in there. Me and Pat Travis and my manager, because my manager does Pat Travis too. So we did that, and I look at the charts, and that song's number 4 in the Billboard singles. I said, wow. I said, maybe we should do an instrumental version of that and kind of do what we did with Vanilla Fudge, and you keep hanging on. Just when that thing fell off the charts, our song came out and went up the charts, you know? So it's a whole different time.
Yeah.
And I talked to Brian, who's, you know, all my stuff's coming out in Cleopatra now. They're like my major label, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, what do you think? He goes, interesting, let's try it. So we did the version. I played it for me, loved it. So now we're doing a video with you know, we're doing a proper video with the videographer that does TV shows, and the guy that put it together was the entertainment photographer of USA Today. He said, I'll take pictures of it and I'll put it in USA Today. And when you do your storytelling, I'll take pictures of that. So he's like really behind me, you know? So we're going to do the video, and then we're going to pick a day to release it, and then try and release it and give it a push. You never know.
Never know.
You never know.
Are you going to be playing some of these Zeppelin songs on your, you know, with Fudge later
We
this
play
year?
them. We do play. I can't remember if I told you at the last interview. Now we do Dazed and Confused and Into Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You. But as Vanilla Fudge is, we changed it. You know, Dazed and Confused is more like a jazzy thing. It goes like boom, doom, doom, ba-do-do,
Yeah.
doom, 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 ba-do-do, ba-do, you know. And then Mark diddles around with the keyboard like a B3 jazzy thing. And then when he starts singing, you know, we still keep that groove going. There's no drums yet. So when the drums come in, I'm kind of going like almost like a Fool in the Rain kind of vibe. Boom, 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 boom. And then we go into bam, 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 da 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 da, da, and we do that.
Yeah.
We go through a couple of times, and we do the ba 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 ba. Instead of the vocal doing that, is we answer with a synthesizer. Da ba
Okay.
ba ba ba, da ba 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 ba, da, that kind of vibe, like we did on the record. And then we stop, and we go to "Babe, I'm Gonna Leave You." And Mark starts singing out just himself, and then the band comes in kicking butt. And then we end that, and then we go into the solo of "Dazed and Confused," you know? And then we do the last verse of "Dazed and Confused" and end it. And the audience goes absolutely berserko usually, you know? They
Yeah.
love it. They love it. Just like I was talking about, you know, "Stop and Name of Love" comes alive when you play it. When, you know, when we did it in the studio, you know, we did it in the studio, but when we started playing it live, that's when it really comes together as a live piece, you know?
Yeah.
And those two songs get great, great reactions when we do it. So we do that just before the end. That's the last song in the set. We don't do "Hanging On" yet. And then we come back and do "Hanging On," and the place really gets wild, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For when that one happens, I imagine everybody just loses their minds. But I'm glad you brought up "Fool in the Rain" because for me, that's a Zeppelin song that it's just kind of okay, but I like your version of it, and I think that's actually my favorite performance by you on the record is the way that your drumming kind of brings something new out of that song for me.
I'd have to hear it. I haven't
Yeah.
heard it in so long,
Yeah, it's
you
been a few
know?
years since you've recorded it, and
Yeah,
obviously
yeah, yeah. And we
you
play it, you know, we never played it live. And I'd have to hear it. I don't even remember what I did on that song. You know, I tried to emulate the groove that Bonzo had,
yeah.
you know, but I did my own thing with it, I'm sure. Actually, when I'm done, I'm gonna go on YouTube and listen to it.
Yeah, I think you should. It's good. I like it. One of the other things too that I like about what you guys do with these songs is that, and you've always done this with your covers, you change up the vocal arrangements a little bit. You add a little
Yes,
more flair to it.
yeah,
That's just always been a staple of Vanilla Fudge. When did you
yeah.
guys really first start doing that? Was it like right from the beginning when you
At
started?
the beginning, when this whole fad started in Long Island, it was called production numbers. Everyone just slowed down stuff and made it big. It was Leslie West was in the Vagrants. The Vagrants were big. We had Vanilla Fudge. You had the Hassles had Billy Joel, and there's Richard Super was in the Rich Kids who went on to be a good songwriter. He wrote Pink and a few other songs for Aerosmith. You know, so you know we always did it from the beginning because we're the only ones that had 4-part harmony and 4 lead singers in the band, and we were instrumentally better than all the other bands. You know, so we started doing that from the beginning. In 1968, Billboard magazine used to have the awards in the magazine itself. You know, and there was the Beatles were #1 for vocals. We were #2 in 1968. You know, so that showed us that we were doing something right with the vocals. You know,
Yeah.
so we always just did that because we were. I sang doo-wop in the Brooklyn streets and in the subways when I was a teenage. So did Mark Stein. So we sang vocals without any instruments, you know, so we knew how to create chords and harmonies and lead vocals and different vocal parts together. So between me and Mark, we showed Vinny and Timmy how to do the vibrato, you know, and then we always arranged the vocals. So it was almost like a doo-wop group in front of, you know, in front of the band playing the music.
Yeah.
If you get,
It
you
it's
know what I'm saying?
interesting that you say that because it's so hard to imagine you guys singing around a trash can the way, like Frankie Valli did
Yeah, we
or
did.
Dion.
We did. It's funny you should mention the trash can because uh, the King Cobra song we did is called "We Are Warriors." So uh, I found this guy in Long Island that's TGI. So it starts off like talking about the whiskey in LA. The guy creates scenes, right? So when I did my video, I did it with a green screen. So he creates scenes. So as experiments, he just puts us in the scene. So we're going to take a scene and make it like the movie The Warriors,
Okay.
right? We're going to be in subways. We're going to be on Coney Island. We're going to be where there's all the gang writing against the wall, you know. But he creates a scene, and one of the scenes he created on the test was a garbage can with fire coming out, burning, with a fire in it. And I'm next to it with the drums playing, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's really interesting stuff, you know. I'm covering some new ground, which I like, you know.
Yeah. That's good. It's great that you're still doing a lot of stuff. I don't know how you have time for all of it because there's so many projects you're involved in. What's the next? Is there another Guitar Zeus coming?
No, the nearest thing to the Guitar Zeus is the Appice Perdomo album.
Hmm.
Did I tell you the people on it? I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah,
I did,
yep.
right?
Some great
Yeah,
guests.
yeah. So some great guests, and I could put more on it if I want, but I didn't want to make it like a Guitar Zeus because we released a box set. I just had a guy call me today. He said, "Man, that Guitar Zeus is unbelievable. When did you do that?" I said, "1995." He said, "That should be on Octane right now." He said, "It's right in with what's going on right now." I said, "Yeah, it should be, but the labels don't do that anymore. So, we made a box set of it and they're trying to sell it.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm really proud of that project because, it was a series. I did a whole bunch of things. I had so many great guitar players on it. And me, Tony, and Kelly that put it all together, and singers, and had Doug Pinnick, I had Edgar Winter, and I had Bob Daisley and Tony Franklin and all the great guitar players. And it was really a project that I put together. It came out of my brain, like all these other things, like King Cobra was my project. And, I'm really proud of it. And maybe it's because I'm not bigger than I should be, because I never stuck with one thing. I kept doing this and doing that because I like pioneering things,
Yeah.
doing different things. Like people go, aren't you sick of playing Hanging On for 50 years? I didn't play it for 50 years. I stopped in 1970 and I didn't play it again until 2001. So I didn't play it for 31 years.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why Vanilla Fudge, lost the momentum, like bands that stayed together through all those years are still drawing bigger people, but
Yeah.
I just like to do different things,
Yeah. Yeah. You keep it fresh. You always have throughout your whole career. So,
Yeah.
whether it's King Cobra or DNA or any of the many projects
I
you've been
forgot about
involved
DNA.
with.
I got to the point where I should do like, I just Carmine Appice from Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, BBA, Ted Nugent, Ozzy, DNA, blah, blah. The list started getting too long, so I just stopped doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I
The
mean,
last interview said, "I'm surprised that the Rock Hall of Fame didn't you pick you up for like that musician, when they give an award for the musician." I said, "I didn't even know about that till a couple of years ago." So I said, "Yeah, maybe one day."
yeah. Carmine, it's been great talking to you about this Led Zeppelin tribute album or cover album, however you want to look at it. It's really good. These songs sound. I was doing a little bit of a comparison between the tracks from Out Through the Indoor and the new one, and the new one does sound cleaned up and fresher. So I hope it does well. And obviously you're still out there with Vanilla Fudge. You're going to be out there again with King Cobra and Cactus. You got a lot going on. We love to see it. We love to hear it. And keep doing your thing, man. This has been fun. Legendary drummer Carmine Appice. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, brother. See you soon.